Dear colleagues, I am Efi Koutsouvelli, a medical physics and radiation protection expert working in Athens, Greece. From my role as President of the European Federation of Organizations for Medical Physics, EFOMP, I would like to thank the organizers of the 2024 International Day of Medical Physics for the invitation to speak about opportunities and challenges at the European region. EFOMP joins every year the IDMP celebrations for the International Day of Medical Physics, a day dedicated to recognizing and highlighting the critical contributions of medical physicists to healthcare worldwide. The talk will be organized as follows. Introduction to the European Federation of Organizations for Medical Physics, an overview of the structure of EFOMP will be given, mission and key objectives of the Federation, current activities, challenges and opportunities, and a future outlook and strategic vision of the Federation. The European Federation of Organizations for Medical Physics was founded in 1980 in London. In 2021, the headquarters moved from York, UK to Utrecht, Netherlands, due to the Brexit, and the back office now is Cantrine. EFOMP is a non-profit organization driven by dedicated volunteers committed to advancing the field of medical physics across Europe through collaboration, education, and innovation. The Federation consists of 37 national member organizations, which are national societies in Europe representing more than 10,000 medical physicists and clinical engineers working in the field of medical physics. The Governing Committee of EFOMP is its council. This consists of representatives of the national member organizations who are the voting members in council. Individual associate members are recruited from medical physicists and individuals with an interest in medical physics from around the world. Those are non-voting members in Council. Another class of membership are the company members, manufacturers and suppliers of equipment or services used by the medical physics communities. Again, these members are non-voting members in Council. The Executive and Governing Committee of EFOMP manages the affairs of EFOMP. The main bodies of EFOMP are the 6 advisory committees: Communications and Publications, Education and Training, European and International Matters, Professional Matters, Projects and Scientific Committees, and the supporting bodies are the European School for the Medical Physics Experts, the European Journal of Medical Physics, the special interest groups, and the working groups. Executive officers are the President, past Vice President, Secretary General and Treasurer, and together with the 6 chairs form the Governing Committee, which ensures that the Federation operates smoothly and achieves its mission. The Governing Committee works on setting short-term and long-term goals. The 2024-2026 Governing Committee has a good gender, age and subfield balance. Since the creation of the Federation, EFOMP aims to foster communication and coordinate activities between medical physics organizations, creates such organizations where none exists, improve and harmonize science, education and training standards, and facilitate exchange of medical physicists. EFOMP has largely delivered on these core objectives, which are summarized in its slogan of communicate, integrate, and educate. EFOMP's strategic agenda for the next years has an holistic approach and includes actions which promote scientific exchange, training and retraining, driving equality, diversity, equity, fairness in its structures, and ensures that EFOMP acts in the long run in the best interest of the national member organizations. The main elements of this agenda are a European common training framework, the automatic recognition by the European Union of the medical physics expert profession, and the sustainability roadmap. The strategic agenda is also aligned with the 2030 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. EFOMP's roadmap aims to contribute to a sustainable healthcare system. That is a healthcare system designed to meet the health needs of the present population without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own health needs. Balancing economic, social and environmental factors to provide high-quality care while minimizing negative impacts on resources and the environment. Focusing on a disease prevention, health promotion and early intervention to reduce the long-term demand on healthcare services and improve population health outcomes. The roadmap focuses also in ensuring a sustainable organization and profession, ensuring that the organization is economically stable by optimizing resources and managing costs effectively, achieving living and working conditions that support people in engaging and remaining in medical physics throughout an extended working life. A sustainable organization and medical physics profession ensures that the field can continue to grow and evolve. Specifically, EFOMP can contribute in goals number 3, good health and well-being, 4, quality education, 8, decent work and economic growth, 9, industry and innovation, 10, reduce inequalities, 13, climate action, and 17, partnerships. The current focus for EFOMP remains the recognition of a common training standard and the automatic recognition by the European Union of the medical physics expert profession. A successful submission sets a general system for the recognition of evidence of training, automatic recognition of professional experience, and allows free mobility of medical physics experts within the member states while ensuring a more efficient and transparent recognition of professional qualifications. This will also act as a foundation for such recognition outside the European Economic Area. The submission for mutual recognition has to prove that the medical physics expert is a regulated profession. The Council Directive 2013-59 laid down basic safety standards for protection against the dangers arising from exposure to ionizing radiation and introduced the medical physics expert role, which means an individual or, if provided from national registration, a group of individuals having the knowledge, training and experience to act or give advice on matters relating to radiation physics applied to medical exposure, whose competence in this respect is recognized by the competent authority. We have to also prove that the common training platform is regulated, or the education and training leading to the profession is regulated in at least one-third of the member states. The common set of knowledge, skills and competencies required in the systems of education and training applicable in at least one-third of the member states. It shall be relevant where the knowledge, skills and competencies have been acquired as part of a general training course at a university or higher education institution or as part of a vocational training course. We have to also prove that the current system creates economic barriers currently present in the public and private healthcare providers, such as industry, example proton therapy manufacturers, healthcare private health providers, example dentists, hospitals, and at the radiopharmaceutical industry. Mobility of professionals is regulated by Directorate General Growth, which supports the competitiveness, growth and resilience of the European economy. It focuses on strengthening the leadership of European industries across different industrial ecosystems. In addition, it implements policies that sustain entrepreneurship and growth, in particular to the benefit of small and medium-sized enterprises, including facilitating access to funding and to global markets for European companies. It contributes to the objective of turning the Europe into a greener, more digital and more resilient economy in line with the Commission's priorities to build an economy that works for people and a Europe fit for the digital age. Which are our challenges? The spirit of the Common Training Framework is to improve mobility across member states and not to increase regulation. Mobility requirement implies existing issues with mobility. Establishing a common training framework is a long-term process to establish mutual trust between member states, educational institutions, and other stakeholders. Delicate balancing exercise to compile a set of skills, knowledge, and competencies for the common training framework. Common training frameworks are one of several options to facilitate mobility of professionals across Europe. Since the main target of EFOMP is the harmonization of medical physics education and training standards throughout Europe, EFOMP introduced the accreditation of national registration schemes, which establish a common training platform for training. If a critical number of states achieve the EFOMP standard, this can form the basis in the European Union recognition of professional qualifications and interstate recognition of these qualifications under European Directives 536 and 1355. A national registration scheme is defined as a national agreement detailing the way in which medical physicists were trained and educated, together with the availability of a formal training program for medical physicists. Understanding implementation, education and training and registration of MPs across the European countries is essential to develop policies intended to improve harmonization of medical physics experts, provide possibility of free movement of medical physics experts between European countries, and create the possibility to evaluate how IFOM recommendations concerning education and training and registration of MPs are implemented by the national member organizations. Today, 11 out of 27 national registration schemes are approved by IFOMP. The long-term aim of the national registration schemes is a generally accepted level of expertise, facilitating an exchange of professionals across Europe. IFOM has published several policies concerning the education, training and registration of MPs. 4 of these policies describe recommendations which have to be fulfilled by a national registration scheme in order to meet the EFOMP standard. Apart from EFOMP, other societies are involved in education and training for medical physics and medical physics experts in Europe, as the European Society for Therapeutic Radiology and Oncology, ISRO, the European Association of Nuclear Medicine, ENM, the European Society of Radiology, ESR, and the International Atomic Energy Agency. Some of the policy statements are listed here and are available on IFOMP website. These policy statements will support the common training framework. The roles, responsibilities and status of the clinical medical physicist, criteria for the number of physicists in a medical physics department, departments of medical physics, advantages, organization and management, recommended guidelines on national registration schemes for medical physicists, recommended guidelines on national schemes for continuing professional development of medical physicists, recommendations on medical physics education and training in Europe, recommended guidelines on the role of the medical physicist within the hospital governance board. These policy statements are revised when new recommendations regarding qualifications frameworks are published by the European Parliament and Council, which introduce new terminologies or new European directives involving the medical use of ionizing radiations, replacing previous ones. For example, Policy Statement 12 had to be revised when a new qualifications framework, the European Qualifications Framework for Lifelong Learning, was introduced by the European Commission. The competence-based core curricula are the basis of the common training framework. In 2004, ESTRO and EFOMP jointly issued guidelines for the education and training of medical physicists within radiotherapy. The first revision took place in 2011. However, since publication of the 2011 curriculum, demands on knowledge, skills and competencies of medical physicists have increased due to the strongly increasing technological complexity of radiation equipment and treatments and increasing demands on quality and risk management. The current revised curriculum for training medical physics experts in radiotherapy arises from a need to update the education and training requirements to accommodate the medical physics expert competency needs in modern radiotherapy in the 2020s. It aims to define a baseline standards for the education and training of medical physics experts in radiotherapy, provide a framework for national regulatory bodies to guide their own curriculum development, contribute to harmonization in Europe in order to facilitate cross-border mobility of professionals, improve the standard of training across Europe, and make it explicit to politicians what an acceptable standard of training is. The core curriculum revision was based on the latest guidelines by the European Commission on Medical Physics Expert, RP 174, EFOMP Policy Statement 12.1, Recommendations on Medical Physics Education and Training in Europe, and CanMed's methodology. The concept of competency-based education was reinforced in this core curriculum. The medical physics expert is a member of a multidisciplinary team that includes radiation oncologists, medical physics experts, dosimetrists, biomedical engineers, radiation therapists, computer scientists, assistant medical technicians, nurses, administrators, hospital management and other healthcare professionals working closely together to provide safe and effective radiotherapy. Effective operation in this environment requires a broad spectrum of general competencies. 6 CanMed's roles for medical physicists are integrated in the role of medical physics expert. CanMed is a framework that identifies and describes the abilities physicians require to effectively meet the healthcare needs of the people they serve. These abilities are grouped thematically under the roles of communicator, collaborator, leader, health advocate, scholar, and professional. Healthcare professionals seamlessly integrate the competencies of all CanMed's roles. We have defined also 4 different levels of competencies that the trainee needs to develop corresponding to increasing levels of proficiency in its specific topic. Once the training is complete, trainees should have reached the level of knowledge, skills, and competencies in each topic area listed in this core curriculum and will therefore meet the requirements to become a medical physics expert in radiotherapy, that is, able to act independently without supervision in the required topics and gain formal recognition from a national competent authority. After certification, the MPE is expected to master his/her own general and specific competencies in a specific area and continue to develop with continuing professional development. Here you can see some chapters included in the revised core curriculum for medical physics experts in radiotherapy. This structure will be followed by the curricula in nuclear medicine and radiology. General medical physics expert competencies, fundamentals of human anatomy, images of anatomy and physiology, fundamentals of oncology and multimodal treatment, core radiation physics, radiobiology and radiobiological models, radiation protection in medicine, risk management, quality control and safety in the medical environment, organization, management and ethical issues in healthcare, information and communication technology, data processing, statistics, modeling and artificial intelligence, science and innovation, research are also relevant for training in the other subspecialties of medical physics, such as radiology and nuclear medicine. The European Commission Guidelines on Medical Physics Expert RP 174 and the EFOMP Policy Statement 12.1 give clear and detailed information on the role and education requirements for the medical physics expert in Europe. The minimum education level to enter an MP training program should be a bachelor degree, predominantly in physics, followed by a master degree in physics or medical physics. In total, at least 180 European credit points focused on fundamental physics and mathematics. It is understood that a candidate with these qualifications would also have a solid basis in computing and programming skills. The curriculum suggests that the MP training should have a duration of at least 4 years and the trainee must be appointed as a paid resident. Medical physics expert training can be in one or more subfields of medical physics. This period is required to obtain the competencies CanMed's roles to become an independent specialist. The medical physics expert training should be conducted in a hospital, healthcare facility that is accredited by the competent authority responsible for this. The training facility and the quality of the MP training should be regularly audited by the competent authority. After the training period, the resident should obtain the national MP certificate. Continuing professional development should be carried out following European guidelines after the training. The length, level and content of the education, as well the required pre-education, still varies among the various European countries, and this is one of the challenges that we face as EFOMP. New topics have been included in the radiotherapy core curriculum, such as complex quantitative data analysis and artificial intelligence, automation, personalized treatment, that is integration of imaging with clinical, genetic and biological data, MRI-guided radiotherapy, particle therapy part was expanded to include image guidance, adaptive radiation therapy, treatment monitoring, and patient-specific quality assurance, flash radiotherapy, and more emphasis was given to science and innovation and to quality management due to the increased radiotherapy complexity inside our departments, the hospital departments. Following the first EFOMP Estro survey in 2019, a new survey has been designed to understand the perception of each European country, national society of the EFOMP updated core curriculum, with the aim to identify barriers that might impact the core curriculum implementation at a national level. In particular, this questionnaire contains questions about context, application, and potential changes to the national curricula to comply with the revised core curriculum. Given the complexity and diversity of education and training in European countries, we extend the opportunity to national societies for an informal discussion to address and clarify specific issues related to the questionnaire, aiming to obtain clear and comprehensive answers. Themes and discussions that have arisen among national member organizations are the entrance requirements and content of training programs for medical physicists and whether we should be trained in a single specialty, example radiotherapy, or trained across disciplines. While there is a range of views on this topic, the majority of feedback has been that medical physicists should be trained in a number of key medical physics disciplines. Hence, the last part of the questionnaire was dedicated to the future developments. A common core curriculum and career pathway for the profession of MP, encompassing all subfields of medical physics, is instrumental in harmonizing MP education and training standards across Europe. This approach ensures consistency in the competencies required to become a medical physics expert, thereby standardizing quality and safety for the medical applications involving ionizing radiation. Incorporate curricula guidelines developed by EFOMP working groups in subfields such as artificial intelligence and clinical trials, as well as common policies in magnetic resonance, medical devices, physiological measurements, lasers, and ultrasound. This initiative streamlines the recognition of the MP profession in those European member states where it has yet to be formalized. There is a universal acceptance among national members that patients need greater access to an increased medical physics workforce and that funded training programs are essential. As said, the curricula will include guidelines in new areas of medical physics involvement. For this reason, EFOMP established in April 2019 a working group on artificial intelligence in medical physics. The working group was formed by several medical physicists and experts from around Europe from both diagnostic and therapeutic disciplines. The group had as objective of structuring an artificial intelligence curricula and professional program for medical physicists. Two important conclusions have been derived which support our roadmap to one core curriculum, which includes several subfields. In the future, it is more likely that the current medical physics subspecialties, radiology, nuclear medicine, radiotherapy, and potentially new ones will be increasingly merged together in the context of comprehensive diagnostic care chains and outcome-driven processes in healthcare. The AI methods fit well as comprehensive tools to drive effective medical decision-making, but also the intermediate steps along that path must be reliably managed and assured. Otherwise, the outcome is not reliable for safe, cost-effective, and high-quality care. This combined information is also needed to build bridges across the clinical and IT professions and for the understanding of the underlying issues of technology which may induce caveats in patient safety and quality of care if they are not properly accounted for. The medical physicist's role in the future medicine is therefore even more pronounced, with emerging AI applications as the gatekeeper of safety and quality and a crucial linchpin in healthcare between radiologists and other medical professionals using AI-based tools, computer scientists, AI developers, and IT professionals. The curriculum was divided in two levels, basic and advanced. The aim of the basic training level was to introduce medical physicists to the pillars of knowledge, development, and applications of AI in the context of medical imaging and radiotherapy. The advanced level instead aims at building on the knowledge acquired in the basic and comprises common topics to the three current main subfields: diagnostic and interventional radiology, nuclear medicine, and radiation oncology. The proposed curriculum is to be considered as an addendum to EFOMP core curricula for MPs in those subfields. A fourth subspecialty in the advanced level, Others, was proposed to comprise modalities and subjects not covered by the existing curricula, but for which the role of medical physics experts is starting to increase, such as biophysics, physiological signal measurements, and cardiology, to cover fields which will have AI applications in the future. However, this fourth category was not expanded in this curriculum. In a similar way, the EFOMP Working Group on the Role of Medical Physics Experts in Clinical Trials was established in 2020 with experts from across Europe and different areas of medical physics. A survey developed by this working group revealed a very heterogeneous landscape of medical physics experts' actual involvement in clinical trials. This might be due to both a lack of national and international guidelines and unequal access to specialist clinical trials training. In several European countries, MPs are either not involved in clinical trials at all or have very limited involvement, which leaves considerable room for improvement. Based on the findings of the survey, the working group identified the need to produce guidelines for the involvement of medical physics experts in clinical trials. These guidelines are designed to illustrate the full spectrum of potential MP contributions to clinical trials, thus demonstrating the value added by MPs within the multidisciplinary trial teams. The longer-term goal is to encourage the involvement of a larger number of medical physics experts in all stages of trial conduct, aiming for a more homogeneous approach across Europe. Their main aims were to develop a consensus guidance document for the work MPs do in clinical trials across Europe, complement the work by American colleagues in AAPM TG 113 and any guidance documents from national member organizations. To cover external beam radiotherapy, brachytherapy, nuclear medicine, molecular radiotherapy and imaging, give guidance to MPs and indeed all medical physicists and medical physics trainees wishing to work in clinical trials, give guidance to the wider multidisciplinary team advising where MPs must legally be involved, as well as highlighting areas where MPs' skills and expertise can really add value to the clinical trials. The sections in these guidelines highlight the range of roles that MPs have in clinical trials. In design and planning of clinical trials and the role of principal investigator, our contribution in clinical trial setup and ongoing QA program with a focus on both central and local investigator roles, the input of MPs for data analysis, MPs' high level of mathematics and knowledge of clinical pathways and technologies make them strong candidates for the statistical analysis and secondary use of trial data. Implementation of clinical trial results is a vital step, as this is where the trial results are put into routine clinical use. Specific tasks like safety assessment are part of the MP role and are highly important. Another section of the guidelines cover the emerging importance of artificial intelligence in clinical trials and the potential roles to be played by MPs. And finally, there is also a review on the relevant legislation. The revised Malaga Declaration asserts EFOMP's vision on the role of medical physics professionals in Europe, describes the current position of medical physics as a healthcare profession in Europe, presents the European legislation to recognize professional qualifications of medical physics experts, gives the medical physicist's role in radiation protection, and provides the future vision and perspectives for the medical physics expert in 2030s. In medical radiological practices, a medical physics expert is appropriately involved, the level of involvement being commensurated with the radiological risks posed by the practice. In particular, in radiotherapy, other than standardized therapeutic nuclear medicine practices, a medical physics expert shall be closely involved. In standardized therapeutical nuclear medicine practices, as well in radiodiagnosis and interventional radiology involving high doses, a medical physics expert shall be involved. And for other medical radiological practices, a medical physics expert shall be involved as appropriate for consultation and advice on matters relating to radiation protection concerning medical exposure. Directive 2013-59 highlighted the need for a liaison between the medical physics expert and the radiation protection expert in the hospital setting, implicitly recognizing that lack of cooperation can limit the effectiveness of radiation protection. MPs have the highest level of expertise in the area of radiation protection and are healthcare professionals with full responsibility for the physical aspects of the patient's radiation protection. Medical physics experts' core knowledge, skills, and competencies include those of the radiation protection experts, and MPs in many European countries act also as the radiation protection expert. EFOMP adopts the following position regarding the responsibility of the medical physicist in the field of radiation protection in hospitals. The medical physics expert, as defined in the Directive 2013, should be the healthcare professional to supervise and assume the responsibilities for radiation protection activities in hospital settings, including patients, working staff, members of the public, and visitors. The radiation protection expert in hospital settings should be an MP, since medical physicists have the highest level of radiation physics knowledge and training. As medical device technology and the use of physical agents in medicine advance and expand, so must the role of the MP. The range of medical devices and physical agents used in hospitals today goes far beyond the use of ionizing and non-ionizing radiation-based imaging and therapeutic devices, and the MP faces requests for assistance in other areas such as advanced physiological measurements, artificial intelligence, and medical nanodevices. An MP has the core knowledge, skills, and competencies with that of the magnetic resonance safety expert, laser safety expert, and MR scientist. Medical physicists and medical physics experts will contribute to maintaining and improving the quality, safety, and cost-effectiveness of healthcare services through patient-oriented activities requiring expert action, involvement, advice regarding the specification, selection, acceptance testing, commissioning, quality assurance and control, and optimized clinical use of medical devices, and regarding patient risks from associated physical agents, including protection from such physical agents, installation design, surveillance, and the prevention of unintended and accidental exposures to physical agents. All activities will be based on current best evidence or own scientific research when the available evidence is not sufficient. Education and training are also provided by main pillars within EFOMP, namely European School for Medical Physics Experts, educational platforms, the European Congress of Medical Physics, the European Journal of Medical Physics, and the European Training and Education for Medical Physics Experts network. EFOMP School for Medical Physics Experts targets courses to existing and novel areas of scientific and research interest, educational and training space in the context of medical physics clinical practice in order to achieve harmonization of the knowledge, skills and competencies as described at the revised curricula. The proposed guidelines on artificial intelligence and clinical trials were introduced to the medical physics community via the European School of Medical Physics Expert course modules. The EFOMP school courses are open to all European medical physicists and are accredited by an independent body, the European Board of Accreditation for Medical Physics, IDMP, to ensure that they are at the required education level, and that is level 8 of the European Qualifications Framework. Several editions have been organized jointly with COSIR, the European Trade Association representing the medical imaging, radiotherapy, health and electromagnetic industry, driven by the need for a closer cooperation between manufacturers and medical physicists to increase the awareness of futures of medical devices related to both imaging and therapy. This collaboration extends in many levels, such as joint actions related to the age profile of medical equipment which is installed in European countries, since obsolescent equipment can undermine patient safety, as well as developing guidelines for manufacturers to meet the requirements, for example, of Article 78.2 of the Basic Safety Standards Directive, which sets out standards for radiation protection in the member states. Indeed, having such links with COSIR allows us to assess the current and future medical physics requirements for delivery of clinical services. It is within our goals to offer equal chances for training to the whole medical physics workforce. For this reason, we make the educational platforms available for use by our national members to include courses in their own language. Interconnection of the EFOMP platforms with existing national platforms will increase visibility of their educational content and access by communities speaking the same language. Our new e-learning platform is designed to provide EFOMP and each individual national member organization with more tools to strengthen their training capacity for both MP trainees and experienced APs, enhancing their continuing professional development. Having up-to-date continuing professional development resources is essential for medical physics experts in Europe. This is one of EFOMP's core missions, as CPD is essential to guarantee the quality and safety of ionizing radiation used in medicine, as outlined in the European Guidelines for Medical Physics Experts RP 174. Examinations can be delivered via the educational platform as a qualification evidence of a common training level and expertise. EFOMP digital resources have been used to host educational and training events organized by the national members. A series of online medical physics webinars and workshops are organized. These activities started during the pandemic years in order to sustain EFOMP education and training activities and continue nowadays. The European Congress of Medical Physics is one of the EFOMP supporting bodies which brings together healthcare professionals every other year, cultivate a community of knowledge and expertise, sharing research, technological innovations, address educational and professional matters, drive advancements that impact patient care. A sustainable development approach was adopted for the Congress in Munich this year, and actions were implemented in order to minimize the Congress carbon footprint to secure the participation of the greatest number of professionals from across Europe and engage the local communities. An early career section at IDMP 2024 was organized by the German Young Medical Physics Group and the EFOMP Early Careers. These people have compiled an exciting lineup of sessions tailored specifically for young medical physicists, featuring renowned experts who deliver talks and participate in panel discussions on a variety of scientific and professional topics, including EFOMP medical physics expert recognition and the new mentorship program. There were sessions dedicated to medical devices and regulations, that surround software development and usage in clinical settings, hot topics from experienced medical physicists and initiatives for the future, scientific newcomer and young investigation forum sessions. In these sections, the innovative research of young medical physicists was showcased, and it has been a fantastic opportunity to make their work visible by presenting it as an oral contribution, receive valuable insights from senior learning specialists, learn and network with upcoming professionals in the field. A FOM sustainability initiative was also highlighted. In these sections, young colleagues learned about EFOMP's sustainability efforts and how they impact the future of our profession, discovered opportunities for young medical physicists to get involved in EFOMP activities and contribute to shaping the field of medical physics. There was also a chill-out area, a meeting point where one could connect with fellow young physicists over lunch and coffee, engage in trivia games and contests while you recharge and unwind. A social evening of friendship and drinks was also organized to celebrate their shared passion for medical physics. The European Journal of Medical Physics is the official scientific journal of EFOMP. The owner of the journal is the Italian Association of Medical Physics, and it is also the official organ of the French, Irish, Spanish Societies of Medical Physics. The European Journal of Medical Physics is since this year in quartile 1 of the journals in the category Radiology, Nuclear Medicine and Medical Imaging, according to the journal citation reports, together with journals of very high clinical profile and a very long history and solid reputation. This success reflects the steady growth of the journal due to the increase in the quality of the submissions the editor-in-chief Juliana Tomadasou receive and select. This is also a collective effort of the authors, the editorial board, the reviewers, and the publishing company Elsevier. The journal strategy is totally aligned with the FOMP sustainability roadmap. We continue along the same road while we are also keeping in mind the continuous need to evolve, innovate, and sustain in all fields of medical physics. Through the beginning of this year, EFOMP editorials, the policy articles, the EFOMP corner articles, and the guidelines are open access. Special interest groups are also formed to establish networks of medical physicists working in a specific area of medical physics. The SIGs aim to fulfill the need for networking, education, research, and professional exchanges in the field. Each SIG operates under the umbrella of one of the EFOMP committees and consists of individual medical physicists with an interest in the field of the particular SIG. Any medical physicist is entitled to apply to become a member of the SIG, and currently there are 5 EFOMP SIGs with plans to introduce 2 or 3 more in the coming year. These supporting structures are vivid communities of professional experts in specific fields, which produce educational webinars, schools, scientific publications, policy statements, guidelines, Congress tracts, and participate in projects. The radionuclide dosimetry has 250 members, the dental imaging 50 members, the particle therapy 70 members, and the early career 160 members. The magnetic resonance has just launched, and the artificial intelligence will soon start operating. The artificial intelligence and early career are more general ones and encompass the whole range of medical physics subfields. This year's International Day of Medical Physics theme is inspiring the young generation of medical physics. This is one of the main challenges of EFOMP for the years to come. If the profession is to be developed and become stronger and sustainable in a rapidly evolving environment, education and training of the young medical physicists is vital so that they develop into the effective and robust scientific and strategic leaders that the profession needs in the future. Young medical physicists need to learn how to act in a coordinated manner at both national, European and international levels. It is EFOMP's vision to provide opportunities for our young medical physicists to develop not only their scientific and research skills, but also their soft skills, as scientific competence on its own does not ensure success in today's demanding working environments. Skills such as strategic planning, marketing, good communication, proficiencies in qualitative research methodology, as well as skills in conflict resolution, organizational politics, negotiation, and team building are also needed. In June 2021, a survey was designed by the European and International Matters of EFOMP and was sent to all national members. The aim of the survey was to obtain information regarding the existence of early career medical physics groups among the national members and the willingness of the members to establish such groups in the future or to take part in an EFOMP early career special interest group. The 11 questions of the survey included both quantitative, related to the number of members within the NMO and the number of early career physicists, and qualitative queries, the roles of early career medical physics groups, the benefits of being part of such an early career medical physics group, etc. The questionnaire also allowed the respondents to suggest ideas regarding the possible roles and membership benefits the NMOs would like to find within EFOMP's proposed early career medical physicist special interest group. The results of the EFOMP survey revealed the fact that most NMOs consider the establishment of an early career special interest group as a positive step for fostering young medical physicists within the Federation. The formation of such a SIG within EFOMP could include all young medical physicists under an umbrella with common goals for the medical physics profession. EFOMP governance considered the ideas advocated by the national members and implement them in the practices of the early career special interest group that was set up in December 2022 and operates under the European and International Matters Committee. The new ideas and views promoted within this group will assist young medical physicists in their education and training, will stimulate collaborations and professional exchanges among young physicists from different national members, and will be a hub for shaping the future leaders of our profession. The sustainability roadmap of EFOMP includes appoint early career persons in EFOMP structures, organize leadership courses following a multidisciplinary and multi-organizational approach, and launch the EFOMP Mentoring, Enabling and Mobility Program. The EFOMP Mentoring, Enabling and Mobility Program provides guidance, help, support and inspiration to mentees to accelerate clinical, academic, industry growth, soft and hard skills, give opportunities to get involved within the EFOMP structures, and facilitate the mobility of medical physics experts in Europe. Especially the mobility part of the program aims to promote the exchange of knowledge and professionals based on European mobility experiences between medical physicists from different countries. By generating a database of centers and people interested in doing stays, it aims to facilitate contact and bureaucracy. It would help the creation of suitable couples from the host country and the home country who wish to move, considering professional aspects and areas of interest, so that both parties can take advantage of this stage period. The exchange will benefit both mentors and buddies and the Federation by bridging mindsets and aspirations of different generations, be a mentor to others while simultaneously being a mentee in another area where you wish to grow, and facilitate the exchange of insights and diverse viewpoints between mentorship programs implemented within EFOMP affiliated organizations through cross collaborations. Recognizing the value of developing strong relationships with other societies working in the field of medical physics or related subjects, IFOMP has signed a memoranda of understanding and agreements with a number of organizations. Scientific and training exchanges are also fulfilled through those collaborations with European and international bodies. An international example of such a synergy is the position paper in support of the Vancouver Call for Action. The International Commission on Radiological Protection expressed concern that the shortage of investment in training, education, research, and infrastructure seen in many sectors and countries may compromise society's ability to properly manage radiation risks, and announced the Vancouver Call for Action to strengthen expertise in radiological protection worldwide. As representatives of organizations in formal relations with ICRP, we decided to promote this position paper to declare and emphasize that strengthening the expertise in radiological protection is a collective priority for all of us. The system of radiological protection is valuable to our societies, and it has an essential role to play in the context of the Sustainable Development Goals set by the United Nations. Another area of cross-collaboration with affiliated societies are the European projects. EFOMP is present as a partner in projects that are going to shape future European policies concerning our profession, support the development of sustainable vocational education and training, exchanges in scientific and clinical research to improve human health and combat the impact of environmental crisis to our health systems. We wish to improve cooperation within the healthcare community with a shared goal of improving the diagnosis, treatment and prevention of diseases, and we actively support research activities and common initiatives. EFOMP has also created a volunteering platform because we wish to take advantage of the experience of past officers, committees, working groups, national board members, which was collected during their term of office to help current and future leadership in providing direction in complex situations that may arise and ensure continuity. IFOMP wishes also to engage the younger audience in the communications and publications tools of IFOMP, website, social media, newsletter, by refreshing the current platforms and include discussion topics such as physical and mental well-being, work-family life balance, cross-border mobility, job opportunities, mentorship, academic expectations, ethical principles, raise awareness of the medical physics profession to a wider audience and attract students to pursue this field of studies. Medical physics is now an established and important branch of medical science. EFOMP is constantly working to create a road towards a common approach to the training of the medical physics experts, mobility and mutual recognition in the European Union and beyond. It is also in the organization's objective to ensure that highest standards of scientific knowledge, training and expertise are met throughout Europe. Although communication and medical technology may have changed in the 4 decades since our inception, the founding principles of the Federation and the need to communicate, integrate and educate are still as relevant in 2024 as they were in 1980. Happy International Day of Medical Physics to all of you.